Alright folks, welcome back to the OlimoLeague. It's game number 3 here in the round of 8. Spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map, he just brought the series back and perhaps bought himself a new lease on life. He was almost about to be 2-0 out of the series, but still fighting. It's Axiom's Impact.
On the top right as the blue Terran, it's Root Supernova.
Alright, so oddly enough, we do have a pretty, I'd say, safe opening out of Impact, but still nothing cheesy. They're both keeping it fairly standard. Pull before hatchery is not a bad move at all. It's not an early pull, it's not a 10 pull, it's just a regular pull.
Sorry, I can't get over this last game. It's like if that rack's could have just gone back down, it would have been no problem.
Or never lifted in the first place!
Well, yeah, but like you see 5 roaches, you're like, okay, you can come in, and then 5 more come, like, hey, I didn't invite you.
Yeah.
It's like a party.
It's like a scumbag friend sitting around the corner waiting to come in, like,
oh my
door
God.
opens a creak and they just like foot in the door, like, oh, excuse me, pardon me, come through.
Exactly. Oh God. Okay. It's done and it's over with, and Supernova has learned his lesson, I suppose. But Impact, he realizes, I think, that it is a 14cc. Officially, yes, now that he does. He sees it. But unfortunately, with a pool first, you can't cancel that CC. That finishes.
But it may force a liftoff, depending. It's going to be a Marine, goes to the bunker. I'm not sure that'll be done in time. Might have to pull a couple SCVs if he wants to be really safe about this, but the SCV did not get killed on the other side of the map, so he scouts the main to see what's going on, and I mean, there's not a second round of lings. There was drones, more drones, and oh, they're so deep at the top of the ramp.
No, why wouldn't you just lift the CC and, oh my God.
Oh, that one Marine has to live. The SCVs can fight, but don't and shouldn't want to. Oh, try not, oh, he keeps it alive. Okay, Supernova holds.
I think that was unnecessary.
I feel like that was unnecessary hype because that was an unnecessary fight, you know?
Like, that was you didn't have to give us all a heart attack and say, like, yo, what just happened?
This bunker is now kind of hilarious because it was part of the point of contention, right? Like, opposed to just building a second supply depot. But it ultimately ends up being unnecessary entirely, and it's not even in a good spot to keep it alive for later, right? It's stupid bunker.
I don't even. Well, Impact is going up to, of course, speed at a actually pretty late timing. It's already 5:30. Didn't even notice that. So there's not going to be like any swift follow up to that little aggression.
Well, I guess the speed timing kind of works out to be okay though, because when he did go across the map, not only did he see there's Marines coming out, he forced more Marines out, and he knew there wasn't any Reapers in play, so there wasn't really that opportunity for something to go awry back at home. There's no necessity to have the fastest speed possible.
For sure. I guess the question right now is Impact going to go for that lair? Usually if it's a perfect game where nothing happens, like 6 minutes around the time when you get that, the lair for 2-base muta. Now it's going to be a 3rd base. You might still get earlier mutas. The Sky is just really good with mutas. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just play the macro game. I honestly expected, with Catalan being the choice, a 2x Reaper. I really did. You know what?
Yeah, a little bit here too. We've been seeing at least 3 Reaper openers. Much less cheese to go further, but yeah, it's pretty actually super calm in comparison to that.
Yeah, and I think Impact also expected it. That's why they bothered getting a pull first. You can do it because you do want to add on aggression. Maybe they do 1-arc expand and 6 links can get the SCV kill. You can also just do it because you don't want to have to deal with the big headache that is 3 Reapers or even 2 Rax Reapers. So.
Not true enough.
Oh, a couple lanes are on the way. You want to deal with the Hellions, or at least keep them off the back of your Queens. The scouting so far, Impact could go in here and see that it is a 3rd CC. Soon. He's not choosing to yet.
It would be a nice tell for deciding if he wants to get aggressive or not, but Supernova might not let him. We got not Hellbats, but just Hellions coming towards the main, and even if these are scouted, they're not exactly easy to deal with. Ignore the Queen, go straight for the mineral lines, get out of there with the medevac. It's very low risk, high reward situations.
Yeah. Well, that armory is on the way, and this is going to be kind of an oddly timed Hellbat attack. What?
So just the Viking, it flies right up to the overlord, right in his face, guess what? Fuck you!
Oh, and yet again, we're gonna have the Viking not get the other Overlord that's already in position to be sent off. All right.
Yeah, that would have been nice to pick off, but Armory does finish up, so Hellbats will be ready to push with this. The Banshee Academy 2 is going to be really nice, of course, but this third base could very possibly go down. I take that back. Actually, there's quite a few Banelings finishing up in a moment. It would take some really bad clumping out of Supernova.
He didn't. He expected something like this could happen. He didn't play really greedy, but those are really good splits. In fact, if he saved the other Hellbat there, just get some healing up on it.
Exactly, that's what they're like. Not only were those good splits, like the one that stopped to attack as well, got a really nice shot off on the Banelings from far away. I mean, that was a great engagement, but as we see, it's kind of just leading to a disengagement right now, and that's perfectly fine. But I do want to stress, Supernova is going to play mech off this, ladies and gentlemen. The man with enough balls to play mech on Catalina.
It's butsy.
He's butsy indeed.
Well, Impact, I don't know if he's realized yet that it is going to be the case. As I said, Supernova can play Bio. In fact, he did play Bio in the first game. Or he can play Mech. The Overlord finally gets in there and sees that it is 2 factories, additional factories, and he's going to have to change his plans a little bit. Not that the Spire that he was probably going to go up to is bad. In fact, that's pretty good. But just Lings is not.
Oh, I like the 2 Hellbats coming towards the main. This could get some pretty decent damage, especially when paired up with the Banshee, but I guess the nice thing for the Banshee is there's a Spore Crawler, so Impact's not going to get auto-wiped with this.
Yeah. Well, it takes it down really easily.
Yeah.
Where are those Lings, though? Okay, they're all coming back to the main, and that's when you go into the third.
But the natural base has no detection. Not even an Overseer. So this Banshee is on hold position, just farming drone kills right now. 8 kills, 9 kills. Up to 11 workers killed in total. Looks like the Hellbats in the main are cleaned up, but now Hellbats pushing into the third.
Oh, if those were Hellions, that would have been so much better.
I agree, because he probably could have just darted in, right, and gone for the throat, so to speak. But that Banshee at the natural zombie, it's still not done.
Oh, it's gonna kill that queen.
It could kill the other one too.
Wait, no, it could. Yeah, the other one's weak.
Oh my god, are you serious? This Banshee is a beast. That's what the B in Banshee stands for. 14 kills, drones transferred away, and drones transferred back. Cool.
Oh, Supernova could have gotten so many more. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, that's kinda...
his own third is under attack just a little bit by a couple of Lings, but he has Hellions and Thors, and in fact, with how much damage he's doing and how much he's stopping Impact from getting to that perfect, like, 70 drones, 4 bases, whatever tech they want, a follow-up Thor Hellbat push wouldn't be so bad. You know, I think we've seen a lot less of those just because people are better at defending them and not dying to them. You know, they just go into tanks and they play that macro game to like 150 or maxed. But I don't know. Impact is really low on supply.
Yeah, I mean, the drone count is a big part of this too. I mean, not only did he have to use all his larvae to replace the drones he lost in the first place, but without those drones, he didn't have the income to bank up to get, 19 mutas right off the bat or anything like this. In fact, it kind of sucks that he's coming up with a Spire. He's got 900 gas, but no minerals.
Yeah. It just really sucks that everything is so late. Like, even if he had 4 mutas, but they came out 3 minutes sooner, that'd be so much better than waiting this long and getting, 6 or whatever he's gonna get. He really just has no idea what Supernova... I guess that one counterattack kind of gave him a vision of, like, part of the army. But, like, with mutas, you constantly know where they are at all times. That's what's really great about them. But now he's just gonna... Well, I hope you don't attack me soon.
We got a really interesting combination of units coming out on both sides of this, by the way. I mean, investing in the ranged weapon upgrades, Roach Baneling for now, maybe Swarmhouse later on, but Supernova's not gone for siege tanks behind this. He's gone really heavy on the Thors.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think if you were playing that very, like, the passive game till, like, 200 and then you push, you would have already started your tanks. In fact, he needs to start tanks eventually just because the Roaches will be able to counterattack if Impact is able to clean this up. But with the Banshees included and a couple SCVs for repair, he has no anti-air. Like, the Banshees are going to win this out for him. He just goes on a creep, doesn't even care.
This is such a powerful push. I mean, there might not be siege tanks with this, but the Thors are just going to deal so much damage. I mean, stopping to clean up creep, not even necessary in this instance, I feel. But Lings over here are going to get fried. Blue Flame Hellbats are pretty good at doing just that. 4 Banshees. Didn't even realize how high this number became. 16 kills on one of them. That's the hero Banshee from earlier. But these Thors not going to focus down the Spore Crawler. Not going to be bros to help the Banshees out.
Banelings. Whoa, didn't even notice those being made. So So they crush through a lot of those Hellbats, barely don't kill the Thors, but that's where the Roaches come in, and with that Spore Crawler, it might just barely be enough with all these Queens to clean this up.
Wow.
I really thought the Banshees were going to be so much better than they were.
I think the problem was, too, the Hellions and the Hellbats, they're really clumped up. If those were in a straight line from, like, ramp to ramp, I don't think this would have gone so well for impact. But still, 3 Banshees do escape, and this base here on the left is probably going to go down. And he may not push with tanks, but he does have tanks out now, so Supernova is going to find some annoying nuisances in these Roaches, but he should be able to hold against them.
Yeah. Like I said, the Roaches can counterattack. That is why you start your tanks as you push, and you will start to phase out the Thors unless they go back into mutas, which Impact is doing. Like I said, just even having a small amount of mutas to constantly be harassing and, you know, scouting too is pretty effective. But so can be going up to like 30 or 40 mutas. That can be good too.
I got to give it up to Impact. Like, this was a really bad opening for him. Lots of drones lost in the early game. His opponent got ahead. We'll play max something that should never ever really happen, and still he finds himself fighting, and not just for his life, but actually on somewhat even footing. I like it. And these mutas. Okay, what's in the main? 1 turret. No Thors in production. No Medivacs to scoop the Thors out of the low ground. I don't actually know if he can deal with these mutas. Not initially, at least.
Did he see something? He just made like one more Thor.
I think he's just doing it because it's about that time, eh? But
maybe. Oh, now 2 Thors, but they're a long ways off from finishing.
I don't think 2 Thors even stops this many mutas.
With an SCV, pull it would.
Yeah, I guess a master pair. I like he's trying to pull off here on the turret. Turret will eventually go down though. Almost. Man, I wish there was a way to upgrade turret damage. Holy moly, 9 health remaining on that muta is a little bit painful to watch. But Viking might come snipe it off. No focus fire. Oh, good to get the armor and good to get the +3 weapons. Most importantly.
That is worth losing the mutas.
I would
if
agree.
He did lose many. He only lost 1.
I would definitely agree. Transitioning to Swarm Host behind this. Ooh.
Yeah, that's why I was even more okay with mutas dying. Is that you know, if a big chunk of your army dies, usually you're like, oh my god, I just give away my army. Like, they're gonna counterattack and they're gonna win. But you know, you have Swarm Host out, they already buy so much more time, and now he's very quickly not just getting 10 Swarm Hosts, but he can go up to like 20, and then, you know, it starts snowballing from there. Luckily, the Roaches that cause the tanks, or now the tanks like are effective against the Swarm Host, right? So he's gonna be okay in defending, and he is on 4 bases. Back on 4 bases is pretty dandy, but he's not going up to that ultimate end game mech composition without going up to those battle cruisers and those Ravens.
Oh, that's that clump of the mutas, though. I mean, I guess you're right. Like, the mutas aren't as important anymore with that transition coming out, but it still kind of sucks to lose them like that.
Yeah, it does.
Same kind of way, I guess the Banshees went down for not. Also, too, it's worth noting, I kind of called this base dying earlier. It never fell down. I think that's a big problem. Impact quickly responded with Queens, which is why it's not like Supernova went AFK and forgot about it. But had this base died, there wouldn't be the gas to really smoothly transition in like this, and there wouldn't be the economy to really support this many Swarm Hosts. Again, Impact, he's playing from a deficit, and he's been playing from a deficit, but he's getting to this point where he's getting map control. This creep spread is wicked out of control, and there's a lot of Spore Crawlers coming down for static defense. I'm liking his position in this game more and more as time goes on.
Yeah, really the only thing he's down in right is that bank, and only just barely. With Swarm Hosts, he's going to get that bank very quickly.
Well, the siege tanks do siege up in the middle of the map. They will be able to take the positioning. Hellbats, by the way, are not made very much on purpose here. While they can soak the hits a lot better from these Swarm Hosts, the Hellions have a nice long range and a huge longer line of attack through the splash damage, so they deal with the Locusts a lot better, aiding in the tank damage. And he'll take a couple of the Swarm Hosts out and continue to push. Ooh. However, some counterattack damage going off back at home. Third base forced to lift, 14 SCVs die, natural base under a small amount of attack. Hey, that bunker actually coming into play. Oh, but he's got scan. He's out of scans. Couldn't quite get these Swarm Hosts before the next Locust wave.
Impact's very interesting here. I think he was prepping to just do more counterattacks with the Lings, but now Lings are all he has against the mech army. It's only how many Swarm Hosts left over? There's only 9 Swarm Hosts left over. You can bully through that.
Yo, missile turret hype. This one missile turret, oddly placed as it is gonna almost pick off all the mutas. In fact, drives these back so the Banshees can keep holding the defense. But the tanks are starting to disappear. I guess we got caught a little out of position against the Swarm Hosts, against the Locusts, and well, they've both been whittling away at each other.
there's Banelings are being morphs. What about the Lings? And I guess they'd actually got decent shots off on the Hellions and the tanks. So with 18 Roaches backing everything up, he will again barely hold.
Aw, man. This is really painful for Supernova. Of course, he does have a 4th base, which is nice, but you know, this Lingsborough here, his SCV count was going to get it. He doesn't have those extra geysers. Replacing tanks isn't that difficult, but what's really scary to consider is like that attack was really strong. That push was great. It cleaned up a lot of creep, but it didn't really hurt Impact economically. It didn't hit him where he was weak or anything like this. It was army for army with a player that gets free units. It's not the best move. I like this move though. Running by with the Blue Flame Hellions is a really good way to cause some damage to your opponents.
Yeah. He was just really expecting to have ended the game with that first push that he did. That's gonna be a lot of drone kills.
I like they split the Hellions too in case the drones are pulled. Nicely done. But focusing on the other side of the map, Impact's not looking to defend, he's looking to attack. And he sends a lot of these Roaches into the tanks. A couple of them will get picked off, but the tanks mostly survive.
Yeah, that wasn't that good. And he takes all that damage back at home. The Mutas are also revealed through those attacks, and I know he goes back into Thors.
Yeah. This is, by the way, why I think the air composition comes out to be so much stronger in this matchup. Vikings, 1 or 2, terrible versus Mutas. But 1 or 2 with 1 or 2 Thors, amazing versus Mutalisks. And, you know, even, it sounds silly, but more so than Vikings, even just having 1 or 2 medevacs wouldn't be bad. Just so you can transport the Thors around, do those clutch last-second pickups and all that, because here we go to the main. Muta's coming back in, and there's not a lot of turrets to cover this. First one's going to buy a little bit of time. Thors are popping, but if these Mutas spread, the Thors actually will not kill them.
Yeah, look, it's only attacking like 1 Muta
Yeah,
at
I
a
mean,
time.
you really have to be clumped up hard with the Mutas, but still, he's kind of AFK with the Mutas, yeah.
Yeah, still in a magic box a little bit more, but okay, so he's gonna escape. Again, not investing a lot into those Mutas. I mean, the days of going 30+ Mutas against Terran mech, especially, is just, it's not really around anymore, but I guess there's good reason, but it could have been a surprise. It could be effective if Supernova does another push like he's been doing, right? Because he's still not transitioning to amass Ravens, you know, 3 starports, battlecruisers, Vikings. It is gonna be the same push for a 3rd time.
I'm curious if that was ever his intention. Oftentimes we analyze this based off of the vehicle plating upgrades, right? But because he never went double armor, he's only just got +1 armor. And I don't know, you don't really want to go battle cruisers. They're such expensive units unless they're fully upgraded and ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, unless you're planning on going there from the very beginning, right? Like, if he got 4 bases and his plan was to go battlecruisers, we'd be like, Supernova's in such a great position. He has this huge 200 battlecruiser army. See that quite often, but that wasn't his original plan. He wanted to end it after doing so much drone damage.
It's a lot of Thors with level 3 weapon upgrades. You gotta be so careful clumping these. The Vikings helping out just a tad. Trying to secure this base has just been absolute hell for Supernova. I mean, borderline put a planetary fortress down. You know, it's just been messy.
I really don't feel so great for Supernova.
He has choked him pretty badly.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing a 3rd time that he's just hoping does it finally, and I don't think it's gonna be the case. Like, Impact's barely held before, will probably barely hold again. And he's one that's expanding still.
Ooh, I like the repositioning of the Swarm Mouse, catches the Thor a little bit off guard. Blocks away. I still love, like, aside from the Oracle, because it's been amended through patches, I still love that every Heart of the Swarm unit, the counter, is walk away. Alright, gets shut off, not too bad, not too bad. Gonna try and retreat out here before the spores are down. I really didn't expect the Banshees to still have any real use in the game, but practically speaking, I guess if there is not a lot of anti-air coverage, those Swarm Hosts are pretty exposed. The Muta count's also quite scary. I mean, you mentioned before, long and gone are the days with typically 30+ Mutas, but there are 31 Mutalisks on the map, and I don't know, between the Autobduct, spreading out, not clumping, I actually don't know if there's even enough anti-air for Supernova. It's a lot of Thors with a lot of damage, I'll give them that much, but back at home, I mean, 4 or 5 turrets, that's not going to stop this. It's barely going to slow it down.
God, that's what it is. Well, even if he gets into the natural and the main and starts killing tech in those 2 bases of production, Impacts can play Ring Around the Rosie. You know, and it's a funny game, but they like those type of games usually go in the favor of the person that has the Mutas. They're gonna kill your base faster.
Oh, nice snipes on the Vipers. Wonderful pickoffs on the Vipers.
That was very nice. And how many Swarm Hosts are left over? Only the 2 that we see here. So
Yeah.
that line of defense is gone. It is going to be Mass Muta versus Supernova's army, basically.
Okay, so,
entire
like,
army.
Thor's built some Widow Mines, maybe just like anything to try and whittle down the Mutalisk count, right? But
Widow Mines. Yeah, I guess 2 overseas.
It's gonna be hard because of the overseas, right? But it's better than producing nothing for the factories, I feel. Either way,
That's true.
that Contaminate is so good. Oh my god. However, as we see, Impact losing bases left and right. All of them are the new mining bases as well. So the war of attrition begins now. Supernova, he's got no 4th. His 3rd base is kind of crap. I mean, it's not quite a base trade, but like almost unofficially a base trade going on right now.
I think so. I really like that Supernova chose not to go into the natural and the main. I think that's a common problem that we see. That's where they wanted to go in the first place, so they never change because there is a base trade going on. And yeah, they get tech,
Whoa.
but then like the tech is remade.
But,
They're losing their own buildings, so they have to lift their buildings, try and carry them over. But now it might be manageable. There's barely any more mutants on the way.
Well, the mutants aside for a moment, there's actually no Hellbats. There's no Hellions. A Ling Flood might not be too bad if you can catch the Siege Tanks unsieged.
It has to be like 100 Lings, though, and he does not have money.
True enough. SCVs are being pulled away from this so he can repair, but also, most importantly, perhaps build elsewhere. I mean, he's floating around the map right now trying to stay alive because, you know, the hashtag base trade status, but I don't know. This is looking pretty good for Supernova to win the actual base race, like through buildings. Did any of the drones get out?
They should have.
I'm clicking everywhere. Okay, there's a couple outside the map. Sorry, guys. There we go. There's one up here on the top.
Okay. All right. So this is a lot better, I feel, really, because Supernova got to the mining bases first. Like, that was a huge deal. He might still lose the game because his buildings can't get to his army. That's what happens in these type of scenarios. The army has to carry the buildings, and the Muta player still usually wins out. Eventually, they can snipe the buildings.
I think even with 33 mutants, though, it's these Vikings. Like, you can Magic Box and 6 Thors and take this out. Honestly, we've seen that before. But he brought the SCVs. He's able to repair his army up just a little bit. He's able to definitely take a good fight. But hopefully he doesn't get too complacent about buildings. He's got one command center in the top right, but that's going to be found here pretty quickly.
Win. Like, he literally cannot win. So Supernova, like, I think he made the best out of the situation that he had, but he's not going to win.
I actually think Supernova will win. To be honest, if he gets a fight. If he gets a fight.
Wait, am I missing a building that he's?
He's got to build something now, but he's got the SCVs on the front lines, and he's got a lot of money. I hope he builds something. We're so sad if he doesn't. Yeah, there's command center in the main of Impact.
Oh, okay.
Here's the question, right? Do they try and recover the game, or do they try and keep base trading it out?
What do you mean recover game?
Like, he's got a command center. He's got a hatchery. I mean, and their armies are huge.
Recover in a macro sense. I thought you meant like disconnect, recover.
I mean, Supernova as well. Oh, he doesn't know about this drone. This could be so annoying. You travel with a slow mech army across the map to go take out that last hatchery. This drone pops up, builds an extractor. Oh dear.
Yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, like, he could just take a base and start mining. It sounds so silly, but he's got enough SCVs up to make it viable. Mito's going to try and come in and die for the base, though. Little bit scary as he realizes, oh, that's a lot of Thors. Goes from 31 to 28 pretty quickly.
Well, the thing is that he has no idea if that's the last building.
Yeah, there's a Spore Crawler waddling around. There's extractors around the map, too. I think, personally, Supernova, if this comes down to a fight, Supernova wins that fight. But there's just no reason for Impact to fight that. And that's why I question the recovery process. And looks like Impact does go back to mining for the time being.
You know what's so stupid but so important? Impact didn't lose his overlords.
Yeah, so he's not supply gated the same way.
Yeah, you know how many like games we see like TVP, like TVT, where it's like, oh well, he lost all his supply depots, so he has to spend like 800 minerals in supply depots.
Yeah, but what good are overlords if you got no overseers and this Banshee is gonna take out all the drones?
Did he lose all his overseers? So he still has it too, but yeah, they're not in position.
If nothing else, it brings the mutas back, and oh, nice burrow tactics actually.
The pursuit, like Impact took all of the bases that Supernova wants to take now. You know what though? No, he didn't. This base, if it's not covered by creep, would have been rather healthy. The potential third, fourth that should have been taken.
You could build a barracks with the SCVs. He's gonna need it for the orbital.
Yeah, it's true.
How is new creep spreading? What? The reason I see that he needs the orbital too is not even just for the base itself, but because he's gonna need to start scanning at some point. But the muta's diving in, and the Thor's a little bit out of position. It's a little bit awkward.
Impact's starting to poke and prod though and realize that that is probably his last base. But it's still so dangerous to assume that.
Can he land? Is that creep
Last
not
building.
covering that?
Is it not?
It looks like it is, but no.
Oh, you're so lucky,
Oh.
Supernova.
Oh, this is a big
Oh
deal.
my god.
So, Supernova has 10 workers to the 5 here of Impact, and the Banshee was doing a great job harassing him. Hell yeah, look at this. He's using the splash damage from the hatchery to kill his burrowed drones. That was so clever.
Well, it takes a long time for you to kill a alien.
Yeah,
There we
it
go.
certainly does. I really didn't expect this game to go like it, but supply depots are coming down. I kind of hope he realizes he needs a barracks, because an orbital is going to pay off so much better for him in so many different ways.
Yes. Yes.
Also, but you need supply depots for barracks, duh, because it's not Wings of Liberty, so never mind.
I don't think it's only like in a base trade like this type of scenario that you remember how the order goes, right?
Right, because when else does it really come into that big of an effect? But he's got money to work with, and as we see, he's starting to build up. I like that he sieged up the tanks as well, because the worst feeling is going to be, okay, I've got this anti-air defense, you know, so tunnel vision focused on the mutas. Oh, right, they have roaches.
Impact, this is looking more and more in favor of Supernova.
It really is,
You
but
know-
Impact, he's able to build more drones faster. I think is going to be kind of key. It sounds so silly to phrase it like that, but look how many supply depots Supernova has to build just to catch up to himself. You brought up the topic of the Overlords earlier, and it's really helping Impact.
It is.
I
It
mean,
is.
I
It's just-
definitely I feel better for Supernova, but the recovery process is definitely more potential for Impact, I guess.
Yes, that is the best way to put it. But because his army is not going to win out, it is like he needs a lot more time than Supernova. He's the one that's on a clock here. Supernova could eventually get like engineering bay, right, and just put all of his money into missile turrets. Like,
But that's what I'm thinking of, like those roaches coming back in, right? Like, oh man, I just built like 15 missile turrets and 8 roaches come in. And I just feel like that's classic Terran, like just hashtag just Terran things, right?
Oh my god, that is true. This is so funny at how much it is just stalemated. Like, Supernova can't really split up his army.
But look, also, you know, it's funny. Look how slow it's taking him back to get it. Spawning pool's just coming down, whereas Supernova's already on his way back to a factory. You know what? Oh god, the best thing I think you can invest is not turrets. Widow mines would be fantastic at this time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That, you know, if when you were talking about it before, when the base just started, I was like, not the Widow mines to deal with the mutas now, but just to like scuttle away and save for the base trade that I saw coming, right? But the Overseer's probably would have seen them anyways. Oh, he's just gonna lift everything and go. Okay, this is the other option, right?
I guess, yeah, because one command server will get picked up. We see this all the time. Like, in weird Terran base trades, you try and drag your base with you, but the buildings are so freaking slow. The Mutals, they find your openings, they poke at you from behind. As we see, Impact's going to try and get in here and do just precisely that. Vikings getting some decent shots off, but I don't know. He's got to be so careful he doesn't expose his buildings.
I don't think he knows that all the Banshees are dead. Yeah, that's why he's been under the Spore Crawler.
Well, that he's been patrolling mutas with the Overseer has been a big necessity, but Impact's starting to pull these drones away and start to build elsewhere. As the base trade continues, you know, some basics were forgotten about. Spore Crawler burrowed here, unburrowed, walking away. Spore Crawler here on the north side. I just don't think Supernova can win a straight-up base trade. And now that the SCVs are pretty much... He gave up the supply depots, he gave up his chance recovery. He felt really pressured to counter-attack, and I can understand why, but will this pay off?
It might. I'm usually totally on board with Zerk winning the situation. Mostly because they had a big enough bank, because they went Storm Host or something, right? Where they get like 1,000 minerals that they can continuously ring around the Rosie. We saw that on Secret Spring once, and it was so obnoxious. But effectively doesn't have that much money. That's his other hatchery. Like, he does not have the money for...
Oh god.
Oh, he just put it down. Okay, good.
Where's Hellions when you need them, right?
Just one.
SCVs don't chase. You guys need to repair
Stop.
the army.
Okay, so it's really important that Impact got that. I didn't think he had another 300 minerals, but I guess his drone was just taking so long getting over to the bottom left to build that hatchery. But even then, like, his drones didn't get over there.
Oh, tanks exposed. Thors!
He needs 300 minerals with every base that he gets, and that's going to be so hard. Catalan is not that big.
Yeah, we watched what Nerd Show did this versus Happy on Secret Spring. Same tactic, you know, just constantly expand. But in that instance, he was able to mine a lot more. Impact doesn't really have that going for him. But man, oh man, Supernova's I feel like he's gonna lose this game because he'll miscontrol the buildings. I'm really worried about this happening.
That is always the fear. That's why I would give it to this Zerg player almost 100%. But it is so close. He needs to kill 2 building. Well, okay, that's not true. He needs to kill 2 hatcheries, but there's still 2 spore crawlers, 4 extractors, and possibly 2 more extractors. So I don't know.
Truth be told, I really think if Supernova had played the recovery game, this would have been safer. But what he's doing is so risky. So risky. Because, right, if he had gotten down 5 more depots, he would have been able to then start producing Hellions again. And rather than worry about sending this crazy slow army across the map, you've got Hellions doing the run-bys. You got Hellions doing the dirty work.
I think what he was afraid of was any amount of Swarm Hosts. Because he had lost all his Banshees.
True enough, yeah. If
you would have lost the Banshees.
Oh, but he's getting really far away from his buildings, and this is what I was talking about! Oh! This is it? This is all he's got? He's got to be able to repair this. Oh god, this is so bad.
Yeah, he can repair. That's also something that's usually missing.
I always feel like when Terran players do this, right? I always figure this would be a video game status, and each building is like a bar of health, and he's like losing a heart at a time.
Now would be a great opportunity to macro, right? Like,
well,
all these bases are healthy over
something.
here. This would be totally okay.
Well, Impact does start running away, and looks like he does put in a hatchery somewhere. I don't know where it was, but.
Middle right? You mean?
Oh, I thought he did actually. Maybe not. No, he doesn't have enough money to put another hatchery in, so he'll lose this base. Runs over to the right side with drones.
This is the problem. It's just about the control of the command center.
What happened to you? Okay, so that's so you can repair it, because with this much creep, you can't land it to drop mules to repair it. So it's really important he doesn't lose these SCVs. He's also so limited on money.
It's so important he doesn't lose the one Overseer that he has. That Banshee could be so good if that happens.
There's a lot of what-ifs going on right now, I think, for both players. But the command center is once again exposed, and Supernova is getting complacent about this. He's still in range.
He's gonna dive. He's gonna go for it.
He's gonna win. He's gonna worse. The SCV is building. Supply people build over 500 anything. No. GG. Oh, Impact. Oh, Impact, ladies and gentlemen. He takes the series with a 2-1, and that's